think that the Russians have a history, not only in recent times, but obviously stretching quite far back, of attempting to use a sort of asymmetrical kind of warfare based on intelligence, deception, disinformation, and propaganda. And I think that it has a potentially a meaningful effect on the elections. I mean, it's interesting. Donald Trump thinks that 3 million illegal aliens who are, come up from south of the border to work in menial labor positions were able to conspire and vote, have 3 million of them vote for Hillary Clinton. But he doesn't believe the Russians could possibly, a nation state level actor could possibly have an effect on our elections. I find that a little bit of an interesting contrast. But I do believe that we're in a situation right now where, for the good of the democracy and the good of the republic, we really need to ask these questions. We really need to look at this problem. We need to determine what's the level of motivation and why they're so motivated to support Donald Trump, what they've done, and the fact of the matter is the FBI is the one agency out of the 17 national intelligence services in the United States that is slow rolling this. Everyone else believes there's absolutely been Russian involvement, penetration, and manipulation, not only in the political sphere and in the hacking sphere, but there are concerns that they've penetrated U.S. voting systems. We don't know that. We haven't seen proof of that yet in the public domain. But it's worth asking if our national sovereignty is compromised by a foreign power. And frankly, if you're the president of the United States, you need to view Russia with clear eyes and not be starry-eyed over the fact that once upon a time Vladimir Putin flattered Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's been gushing like a fangirl about Putin ever since. So I think there's a lot of concerns here, and we do need to look into this for the sake of a transition that doesn't delegitimize the elections process in this country.
Rick Wilson, you're not holding back, and yet you're a Republican. You're from the same party as Donald Trump. What's the conversation like with fellow members of your party these days? Is it all-out war within the party?
There are three factions in the party right now. There are the folks who are completely over the moon in love with Donald Trump and absolutely going to, they could set themselves on fire if he asked them to do it. There's the faction that is in a wait-and-see mode, and they're terrified of what's happening because they're smarter people than the average bear, as I like to say. And there are folks who, like myself, have seen Trump as a guy who doesn't represent Republican or conservative values. From the very beginning of this process, folks like me have viewed Donald Trump as somebody who is not representative of the conservative movement, and frankly, his alliance and his obsequious posture towards Vladimir Putin and the Russian kleptocracy is something that concerns me in the foreign policy sphere, because he's aligning himself right now with a guy who's helping facilitate Assad's genocide in Syria. He is aligning himself with a guy who has annexed Crimea, invaded Ukraine, destabilized the eastern front of NATO, and I find this to be a remarkable development for a person who seeks to, uphold American values. So that's why I'm direct about it. That's why I speak out about it. And I think there are the people that are around Donald Trump, Paul Manafort, Carter Page, Michael Flynn in particular. These guys aren't just pro-Russian. They seem to the point where they're putting the word and the interests of the Russian government ahead of the American intelligence community, and it's a shocking and remarkable development.